Allow me to share with you my most favourite story. It's about the life of a man who lived as most holy, from the right hand of the Father to the crib he descended, to grow up and give up so brokenness gets mended, so we can be part of the family as God's adopted son or daughter. So let me tell you about Jesus through the journey of water. First meet John, his cousin. Likes locust, honey he licks. Proper spiritual like and a bit eccentric. He clears his throat and pipes up loud. Turn around to the one whose love knows no bounds. So some got baptized, but see, John was just sent as the warm-up act to proclaim the main event. Enter Jesus, who John baptizes. Straight out of the water, Jesus arises, and with a voice from the clouds, God fills us in. This is my son, I'm chuffed to bits with him. Next, he's at this wedding, and the red wines run dry. To be fair, it was a bit embarrassing for the father of the bride. So Mary, the mother, gives Jesus the hintage, and from water to wine, he miracles the vintage. The guests are loving it, they're having a blast. They couldn't believe they saved the best wine till last. A bit later on the boat, it's chucking it down. A storm out at sea. Are we gonna drown, think Jesus' mates? Is this really their fate? See, they're all freaking out. Meanwhile, Jesus is having shut-eye and he's out for the count. Waves thrashing, water rising, boat sinking. How's he kept through this, Jesus' buddies are thinking? Till, what's the problem, asks Jesus. What's all the fuss? Says shush to the storm, they descended a hush. Next, a new scene, but similar scenery. Pete and his buddies are rowing out at sea. They spot someone out there. They're all scared witless. Jesus walking on the water, doing the miraculous. At first they flip out, they fly off the handle, till Jesus says, it's me, as he wrings out his sandal. Then gathered grievers, all mourning in masses, as a friend of Jesus called Lazarus passes. He dies. Jesus sees the brokenness and tears fill his eyes. How his suffering surrounding him, says Lazarus, rise. Then that bit in the story that fills us with dread, where Jesus gave up his life and lowered his head, where darkness descended, a perfect life savagely ended. Where's all this talk of the brokenness mended? Through love gritted teeth, he proclaimed it is finished. And with one final cry out, he gave up his spirit. Then proof of the pudding that our Saviour had died, there gushed out blood water from a spear in his side. Then a tear in the temple curtain takes away the divide. His followers and friends must have been beside themselves. The hope of brokenness becoming mended with his death has just ended. Till everything gets upended. 3 days pass, and water flowed plenty from the tea ducts of Mary by the tomb that was empty. What's wrong, asks the gardener. Then imagine her surprise to notice not a gardener, just Jesus alive. He kicked off his mission with a water baptism. He lived and he died to free us from the prison of our sin and ourselves, all our shame and division. And it's paid for, it's dealt with, because he is risen. Our mess has been buried. We can now be forgiven. Our lives resurrected through Jesus who's risen. Through the 3-day baptism, we can emerge from the water to be part of Jesus' family as God's adopted son or daughter. So when we come to the perfect Son who lifted the curse, he gives us living water that will forever quench our thirst.